Luke Robinson.
Now
we
we
got
have
some
echo.
sound.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. Got a lot to talk about as always. Another fun-filled weekend of college football behind us and one on the precipice. Looking forward to it. All right. Alabama and Georgia have a thrilling game. It was a tale of two halves, obviously. Alabama all in the first half and then come back and a thrilling ending to that game. They ascend to number one, and deservedly so. Oklahoma comes in. Auburn in control of the game up until really the last, 10 minutes of the game and let it slip away. Oklahoma comes in and wins 27-21. We'll talk about those two games, obviously, talk about the rest of the games. That happened in the SEC. Kentucky rises up, goes on the road, and takes care of Ole Miss. I don't know a lot of people that saw that one coming for sure. So some games around the NCAA as well, NFL football, Major League Baseball playoffs going on right now. The Braves play, I think, at 7:30. The Mets and the Brewers on right now. I think the Tigers won game one against the Astros, and last I saw, the Royals were up, or I think the Tigers beat the Orioles, and the Royals were beating somebody else.
I saw the Mets were doubling up the Brewers 8-4. I don't know why I saw it, but I saw it. And
Tigers beat the Astros, and I think the Royals beat the Orioles. I think that's the way it went. Go ahead.
Okay, so I mean,
yeah, but the Mets were winning. They were beating.
And the Braves get to play again. I know some people are interested in that.
I think a lot of people are interested in that. The Braves have fought their way through against all odds to get to the Major League Baseball playoffs. So certainly for that. It's sad news, of course. Dikembe Mutombo, Pete Rose, Chris Christopherson, all dead.
John Amos died, the father of Good Times.
My goodness.
He died today.
He's also in Coming to America.
Coming to America. He's also was in Roots.
Yeah.
And I heard a great story yesterday.
He was also in The Beastmaster.
Yeah. I heard a great story yesterday about Dikembe Mutombo. Apparently, as legend would have it, back in the day when he was still in the NBA, of course, and they would go, NBA players pretty famously go clubbing a pretty good bit. And he would walk in and he would put his hands up and he'd say, "Who wants to sex Mutombo?" I just thought that was, what a line. What a lie. And now Mutombo went on air and said, "That's not true. That's some stuff Alonzo Mourning made up." Alonzo Mourning was like, "No, that's pretty true."
Well, he's hard to miss. I mean, big 7 foot tall African,
I would think that'd be pretty intimidating.
He had like 7 names or something,
His finger had like 9 joints in it.
That's true.
And there's also another great story out there about a video that circulated right after his death, and it was he was talking to Michael Jordan. It must have been like in an all-star game or something, or some other. It wasn't right before a game; they wouldn't be in the same room. But they were talking, and Jordan was like, "Yeah, I've dunked on you," and Dikembe, "Never on me, never on me." And he goes, "I've dunked on you," and he's like, "Scottie Pippen dunked on me. You've never dunked on me." And so then, like the next time they play, Jordan dunks on him.
Right.
I mean, and Jordan. That's when Jordan does the finger thing. I mean, Mutombo was so cool, though. I mean, weren't Mutombo and Mourning at Georgetown at the same time? That's ridiculous.
I don't remember that, if that's the case.
They were. I mean, it's again, as you get older, things like that seem to pass. And I wasn't a Georgetown fan or anything, but good Lord,
I don't even remember him in college, to be perfectly honest.
No, he was good.
No.
I mean, he was just a big dude. He wasn't like Mourning.
No offense.
Yeah,
all defense.
He got offense later in his career, but Mourning was much more dominant across the board.
Sure.
But sad. And I mean, he's only like 58.
Yeah, I mean, he died of brain cancer, obviously. Pete Rose is 88 years old, or he was in his 80s. I mean, Christopherson was 88, I think.
Yeah, and Chris Christopherson was a super badass. I mean, just
like on
a lot of levels.
You want to talk about the most interesting man in the world?
Yeah.
I mean, that dude qualifies. I mean, he was a brilliant guy, number one.
Yep.
Goes to but I mean, he's a helicopter pilot, I think, in Vietnam, but he's also You know, he goes a Rhodes Scholar, goes to Oxford. I mean, he writes poetry. I mean, writes some of the most beautiful songs that you've ever heard. I mean, just
he was Blade's partner in the movies. Blade. I mean, he was great. He was just great.
True.
Man.
He became an actor. He just very, very interesting guy. Very, very smart guy. So yeah, but Charlie Hustle. I mean, baseball.
And I'm
all-time hit leader.
It still makes me mad. You know, I just don't understand that he's out of the game, and I mean out of the Hall of Fame, and I don't understand any rationale behind it. I mean, look, we got to get into college football, but the Pete Rose thing you could talk about every day, because this is one of the reasons I really dislike baseball. These stupid tacit rules they have about. You know, gambling's just, oh my God, everybody clutches their pearls. But if you do steroids, or if you're a womanizer or a horrible person, you know, okay, we'll let you in. I mean, you know, a terrible drunk, something like a drug abuser.
Well, most of the proven steroid users are not in.
Well, we don't know.
That's why I said most of the proven steroid users are not in.
And, you know, again, I go back to, as Daniel Tosh, the comedian, says, hey, what is Babe Ruth doing in the Hall of Fame? He was in the Hall of Fame before they allowed anybody who wasn't white in. I mean, we act like he's the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, you know, now everybody's got to face people coming over they swim over from Cuba to play baseball. And their whole life is baseball.
That's really
I know, but it's
really a dumb argument.
But it's funny. That's why he's a comedian. And but he also said, hey, he was just kind of a horrible person. And he was. He wasn't a good dude. And so, again, we're not here to pass moral judgment on Pete Rose, but I'm just saying, throw him a bone, Major League Baseball. They sure did profit off of him when he was there, you know. And
I've always said, as soon as he dies, he will go into the Hall of Fame posthumously.
But why does it have to be posthumously?
Well, because he's dead.
No, my question is, why couldn't they have done it?
They could have, but
the right way.
That's not the way baseball does. Why is it that it took? There's only one man that's ever gone into the Hall of Fame unanimously.
Because again, it's another stupid baseball rule.
That's baseball, but
people say that's baseball, and like, you know, it's sort of like when you have a friend who's a terrible dude. You're like, well, that's just the way he is. Yeah, but it's terrible.
Well, no, it started because I don't know. The first Hall of Fame class, for whatever reason, somebody, and probably just in the reasons you were saying, you know, Babe Ruth's kind of not really that good of a guy. I didn't really like him, so I'm not going to vote for him. Whatever the reason was, somebody did not vote unanimously to put him in. So on down the line, everybody else kind of looked back and went, well, I mean, if Babe Ruth was not unanimous, or if Hank Aaron was not unanimous, or if Willie Mays was not unanimous, then how can he say that? And so it just perpetuated itself on down through time, and it just kind of became a thing where nobody should go in unanimous because nobody else has. I'm glad it got broken. I'm glad it did. Maybe that, you know, will.
Who did it break for?
Mariano Rivera. The all-time greatest closer in the history of baseball, bar none.
True, agreed. But it just
maybe
like
the most dominant pitcher in all of baseball history. Maybe the most dominant.
I guess closer is pretty important, but I mean, I don't know. I think when you ask somebody, Joe Blow, about baseball players, say name 10 baseball players throughout history, I doubt Mariano Rivera comes up.
I probably
you know what I'm saying?
Not, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to get off on this because baseball's just got these dumb rules about, well, if somebody hits a home run and they don't flip the bat right, then you have to hit the next person with the ball. I mean, it's just stupid. It's not even like, it makes no sense. And it goes back to, like you said, somebody made a dumb decision back in the early 1900s, so we have to keep doing this dumb decision?
Well, I'm fine with some of it about baseball policing itself. That way you don't have to get everybody, you don't have to get, you know, fines involved, and you don't have to worry about commissioners making decisions outside of the game. You let the game police itself. That goes on in football too. I mean, you know, somebody
tell me what they're doing.
Somebody hits the quarterback, and an offensive lineman goes up and nails him. He might get thrown out, and everybody says, well, okay, that's okay. He got thrown out, but he was doing it, protecting his quarterback.
I think
and that kind of polices itself. That's
football used to do that. Now football's smart because they're like, hey, you know, revenge hits can be practically deadly now. So, no, they don't do it anymore. Because
They do. You see offensive linemen doing that.
When you, and it may be to some lesser degree, but hitting somebody with a 98-mile-per-hour fastball, and let's just say you know, I know they're very technically sound, and you can hit them where you want to, but what if I've seen people lose control of a ball. What if it hits him in the elbow and breaks his arm, and he's out for 6 weeks? Was it worth all that crap?
That's unfortunate.
I mean, it's so dumb. I mean, these things are so. Anyway, I was at the Bama Georgia game. I think we should talk about that.
Okay. Got to take a break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after these messages. Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner right here in downtown Alexander City. Got some great food, great atmosphere, great people there at JR's Sports Bar and Grill. Longtime sponsor of all of our programming. We appreciate them so very much. Go and check them out one day this week. You'll be glad that you did. All right, I understand there was a ball game this weekend in Tuscaloosa. I didn't see any of it, but
You did not watch the game?
I was on the way home. Usually,
Did
for
you
most
listen to
of
it?
No.
Lordy.
Now, I did see a little bit of the first quarter when I was eating a quick bite before I left Auburn.
Gosh. Well, you were maybe the only person in the state of Alabama who didn't, because the numbers were incredible. Highest rated college football game since like 2017 in the regular season. Absolutely massive numbers, and it was everything you want in a college football game. And I know that some Georgia fans may disagree, but I'm going to say this just to start off so there's no confusion. I applaud Georgia for their comeback. Man, I thought that was so – I mean, I couldn't do anything but admire the way they came back, because it wasn't like Alabama laid down completely. I mean, Georgia just came back. They started like, hey, we just got to go for it on fourth down. And they were 5 of 5 on fourth downs. Now all of them were like 4th and 2s, 4th and 3s, 4th and 4s. And I thought they got, some lenient pass interference calls, but whatever, it happens. And they came back, and Carson Beck turned it on. He started looking like a first-round pick, maybe the number 1 pick. But I think what hurt Georgia in the end was the one thing I thought that might hurt them overall was the lack of a true playmaker. Now, Bell, the wide receiver, he did a great job, but they didn't have like that dude. Alabama's got that dude. Ryan Williams, look, I know I hadn't sung his praises maybe as much on this show as I have on the Locked On Bama podcast, but if you do listen to that podcast, we call it a Ryan Williams podcast. I've been a fan of his ever since I saw him tear up Mountain Brook in a state championship a couple of years ago. And I just said, this guy's just different. You can just see it. It's written everywhere. It doesn't matter how old he is. And then, of course, he does it again the next year. And I know they ended up losing to Clay Chalkville in the state championship last year. It wasn't due to him. He is magical. I don't know another. He's just got an it factor that you cannot put your finger on. Milroe was incredible. Man, he's come light years. You think about him last year around this time was where he got benched for South Florida maybe a week or so earlier than this a year ago. And where he's come in his development, hitting that wheel route was awesome. I mean, and I know some people will say, well, a lot of quarterbacks could do that. Maybe so, but Milroe hadn't been able to do it until recently. And now that that's in his arsenal with the other stuff he's got going on, and Kirby Smart said it best, and he meant it as a compliment. I think some people took it the wrong way, but he said, look, they got the best running back in the country back there, and he can throw the football. And I think he's kind of right. And then the pass to Ryan Williams was put at the only place that somebody could, for his team, could get it. And then Ryan Williams did the rest. That last reception and play, I mean, that's Daniel Moore's stuff. That's worthy of some kind of sketch or painting or something. And the environment was out of bounds. It was just like chill bump inducing the whole time. It was fun. The university did an amazing job. The only complaint I would have is, because Trump was there, obviously security was a little bit tighter, and it didn't feel like there was a clear path for everybody to get in the stadium at the right time. And there was some mass chaos there for a little bit. But I got to give him a bit of a pass, because when the president lets you know maybe a week and a half early, yeah, I'm going to be at the game. Okay, and you got to factor in, it's not just you putting a plan together. You have to do it in conjunction with the Secret Service. I know you have the Secret Service. I don't know if you know, but they've taken a little bit of heat lately, so they're probably going to be triple checking everything. And, man, they were blocking.
And our people are trying to kill him.
Yeah, and they were blocking off. They blocked off one whole side of the stadium to get in. And then, of course, you have to go through extra security. It was kind of bananas getting in. Even though we went in way early, it took us about 45 minutes to get in. And, we went in at maybe 4:45, and the game started at 6:30. It really kicked off at 6:49 or something. But anyway, wow, it had everything you want. It had Alabama kicking butt at the first. It had Georgia coming back. I've never seen a game with 3 offensive pass interference calls. It had a safety. It had long touchdowns. It had 5 fourth down conversions by Georgia. I mean, it had 2 guys against 2 great defenses pass for over 375 yards each. I mean, it was nuts, man. It was just everything you want. And there was just NFL dudes everywhere, and the star power that was there, just like, and it was in true sort of Southern fashion. Kid Rock was there, John Daly was there, Hank Williams Jr. was there. Whoever the runner-up for American Idol a few years ago was there, and apparently she's a big deal. She sang something. I didn't know who she was. Drewski was there.
That show is still on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Drewski was there, who I didn't know who that was.
Who is that?
Okay. I don't, but it's interesting. So before the game, I'm trying to. I got a picture with Cliff Omoyari. I think that's how you say it. Alabama's new transfer in from Rutgers on the basketball team, who's 6'10". I'll show it to you during the break. And a picture with Mark Sears.
I can't wait.
I know. A picture with Mark Sears because I got to go in some little tent where these folks were. Then let's see. I got to see Reese Davis, who's kind of a buddy of mine, super nice guy, of course, host of Game Day. And where I was sitting, Marcel Darius came in. So we got a picture with him, and Marcel Darius turned to me while I was getting a picture with him. He said, "Man, you're as big as me." I said, "God almighty, I hope not." I said, "Don't say that. It's insulting when you say that to other people." But then Drewski, right? So I get all these pictures with all those kind of folks, right? I sent them to all my kids, and this one dude that I didn't know who he was, black dude with sort of a blonde hair thing going on, but I had seen him on Game Day. And so I was like, well, he must be somebody. And I said, "Hey, man, let me just get your picture." And he said, "Sure, no problem." He was like, "Whatever, I'm loving all this." Got a picture with him. I sent it to my kids, and I sent my kids all that stuff, right? They said, "You got a picture with Drewski?" I was like, "Who's Drewski?" Apparently, he's some social media dude. He does a lot of memes, maybe. And he's apparently a comedian, and he's really funny. I don't mean it as a shot at him because people were mobbing the guy. But he's somebody for younger generation, people much younger than you and I. But it was, it just had everything. I don't know how somebody could have gone to that game and not just said, "College football is so much better than pro football. I don't know what to do." I mean, it just had everything you want. And it's the best game I've ever been to at Bryant-Denny Stadium, I'll tell you that. And when you think about Alabama, Georgia, and you think about, I mean, I know they have a rivalry not born out of, trying to think what the quote was the other day, a rivalry not born out of scheduling, but born out of excellence, because the two always seem to meet in the championship environment, right? And so, but every game is like incredibly memorable between these two. I mean, you think about 2012, the SEC title game, that was the best SEC title game ever until 2018 that had all this drama, the two national championship games. Then, of course, this game, I mean, you got to put it on the list somewhere. I mean, the blackout game started everything for Alabama a while back. It's the Matthew Stafford freshman game when he throws a touchdown pass in overtime to win it for Georgia in 2007. And it was just incredible. And, boy, I'll tell you, you're not going to convince me Georgia's still in one of the top 3 or 4 best teams in the country. They're pretty awesome.
5, so.
Yeah. But I know, but I'm saying there are people who are like, well, this really hurts their – no, it doesn't hurt anything. No, not one person in the country wants to play Georgia.
Those two teams could probably play 3 times this year. They may do it. And that's maybe the downfall of the 12-team playoff.
And we're going to have to get some more teams in there.
All right, got to take another break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Just getting started on tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Give us a call. 256-234-6221 is our number here. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by Sunshine Heating and Air. For all your heating and cooling needs, give Sunshine Heating and Air a call. Kevin Keel and his crew will be glad to help you out. They are excellent in what they do, so check them out. A little fall in the air, you can kind of feel it maybe at night, little touch of it, maybe. We'll start to see
great,
more and
man.
more of that.
I'm going to tell you,
here.
it feels great. I love this.
Look, I was at the game at Auburn Saturday. The atmosphere was terrific. It's as good as, any Auburn game I've been to in the last several years. It was very, crowd was into it, obviously. The game was going Auburn's way. I thought it was one of the best offensive performances that we've had since Hugh Freeze took over. I mean, outside of that, game against Arkansas last year, but that was kind of an outlier. But this was against a ranked team, a good team. Everybody said, whoa, Oklahoma's defense, whoa, they're really, really good. And they are really, really good. As good. The vaunted Tennessee offense had 345 total yards. Did they take the foot off the gas? Probably. I don't care. They had 345 total yards. Auburn racked up 480. They moved the ball up and down the field. They ran the ball well. They threw the ball well. They have an explosive offense. Peyton Thorne played within the offense. He did exactly what he was supposed to do for 3 1/3 quarters. And it was the series before. I mean, when Auburn was up 20, number one, they left 10 points out on the field in the first half. They continue to do that. They're not good enough to do that. They've got to, if they have a chance to score, they have got to score. If it had been 20-7 going into halftime, if they'd have just got 2 field goals, one at the beginning, one at the end, and it had been 20-7 going into halftime, it changes the complexion of the game. If it had been 24-7 going into halftime, kind of changed the complexion of the game, but it didn't. They miss out on those, a 4th and 1 at the 1 yard line, and then duck hook 2 field goals from chip shot range. But they stop Oklahoma on 4th and 10, get the ball back, break off a 22-yard run by Jarquez Hunter, and everybody in the stadium just kind of, we're finally going to do this. This is going to be a great day. This is the beginning of the turnaround. And the next few plays, I think, it's the RPO, but Peyton Thorne chooses to throw the ball. And, okay, if we're going to do that, you got to complete it, number one. Cam Coleman was wide open on the left sideline. There wasn't nobody within 7 yards of him. Peyton Thorne made the wrong decision, tried to throw, and he threw it 3 yards behind Robert Lewis. All right, that was bad play number one. Next play, he throws. Next play, I think we have to call timeout. We wasted time out there because the play clock's running out. Next play, he looks up, and his miscommunication with KLS. He's running a fly pattern. He throws it out there, and apparently he thought he was going to break off the route. So we've taken no time off the clock. It's 3rd down and 10, and we run the ball for nothing. I think we end up taking like a minute off the clock after we just stopped him on try a 51-yard field goal and miss it. A poor freshman, we throw him out there to make a 51-yard field goal after he's already got the shanks. And this falls at Hugh Freeze. You got communication in the helmet. If you at absolute worst, you take 3 minutes off the clock there, you punt them down inside the 20 and say, our defense has done great all day except for one play, quarterback, draw up the middle in the first drive. Make them beat you. A good coach, a conservative coach would have done that. That did not happen, and that's all on you, Freeze. There's nothing else to say about that. And then the next, series happened, and you give up one, give up the bomb, and that got them back in the game. And then, of course, the interception was what it was. It was 3rd and 4. They rushed 2, and we still didn't block the guy. He came almost untouched, which rushed the play, which made it a split-second decision, which Peyton Thorne, made the wrong decision. He tends to panic in those situations. That's why you got to minimize those. You got to put him in better situations, because when you put him in good situations, he's actually pretty good. He threw for 380 yards. I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. He just panics when you put him in bad situations, and it was a bad situation, and it turned out, and I feel bad for him. I'm glad we're on the road for 3 weeks, because if we would have been at home next week and he would have announced him as a starter, he'd have gotten booed off the field. And people got the right to do what they want to do. I would never do that, but I would feel bad for him. I mean, the riding the tram back to the softball complex, there was a guy on there that just, the whole trip was this. This Peyton Thorne, he was just left and right, and everybody was saying that, and everybody kind of felt that after the game. But I don't put this on Peyton Thorne. I really put it on Hugh Freeze.
You should.
So.
It's insanity. The definition of insanity is doing something again and again, expect a different result. Peyton Thorne is what he is. He's not an elite quarterback. He is an average quarterback. No shame in that, no harm in that. That's not an insult, because I wasn't a college quarterback. Being a college quarterback at a school like Auburn is a monster deal that he can always wear as a badge of honor for the rest of his life. I don't care how many interceptions he throws, right? But we live in a world where you rank people, and if you were ranking quarterbacks, he would be in the lower half of the SEC quarterbacks. And again, whose fault is that? We've seen enough of Peyton Thorne now to know, okay, this is what he is. Yes, and you say he threw for 380 yards. You know what I kept thinking the whole time was? If Peyton
338, I should have said.
Okay,
I said 83.
Whatever. If Peyton Thorne puts this in the air, that's Oklahoma's only shot. And as far as Hugh Freeze saying things like, well, he's got to make a better read, he's got to do this, he's got to do that. Nope. It's on you to know. The fans know it. Y'all knew it. We knew it watching it at the Alabama game. I was like, I had just turned to somebody and said, Oklahoma's only chance is if Auburn throws. And sure as rain, they throw it the next time. And it's just, I don't understand. Again, maybe Hugh Freeze is so set in his ways, he's like, this is my offense, I'm going to do it my way. Okay, but it's not working. You're not getting the W's. And again, the argument about, well, we just need more talent, we need more people. Auburn's been more talented than every team they've played so far this year. Maybe not Oklahoma. Maybe not Oklahoma. But
top to bottom.
Hang on a second, though. Maybe not Oklahoma if Oklahoma's healthy. Oklahoma's missing his, 5 wide receivers, his starting kicker.
It wasn't Oklahoma offense. Oklahoma's offense was not the problem. I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying. And Oklahoma was starting a true freshman quarterback for the first time on the road in Jordan-Hare Stadium. So, again, it's just the and then I know there's some people defending some of the things Hugh Freeze has said in his press conference recently, and he's like, well, when I tell it like it is, y'all say I'm throwing somebody else under the bus. Because you are, because you can be honest and diplomatic, and you can also sort of shoulder some of the blame yourself. I know he says, well, that's on me, but he always seems to follow that up with a but. And, again, hey, is what it is. I'm just telling you, it feels like he's sort of set in his ways. He's like, I'm a guy that takes chances, and I'm going to throw it when I'm going to be aggressive when some people think I'm going to be conservative no matter what. Okay, but this is what can happen.
No, see, again, the series before that was apparently they're running this RPO, and the Peyton read what he was supposed to read and chose to throw the ball twice. Again, one was a bad throw, one was a miscommunication. But when they come off, and Hugh Freeze is livid in saying we got to run the ball in that situation. So there's a disconnect somewhere. If he's thinking, yes, I mean, obviously we need to run the ball to take some time off the clock. So, run the play. Why is he even giving Peyton Thorne the option?
Exactly. Take the P out of RPO.
You've got the doggone communication. If you say, we're going to call this play yet, but don't worry about doing the just run it. Just run the – I mean, I don't – that's what if he's upset, maybe he's thinking, okay, this fifth-year quarterback ought to know better. But tell him.
And you can say he ought to know better, but again, it's Peyton Thorne. We've seen enough. He's a fifth-year senior. It's not changing.
No.
So,
but again,
here's the other thing: if Peyton Thorne were Tom Brady, and he had been kicking butt all this time, and then he had a sequence like that towards the end of the Oklahoma game, I think people would be like, yeah, you should have done this, should have done that, but he's still Peyton Thorne. He's still my dude. Tom Brady had some problems occasionally. But see, he's done this time and time and time and time and time again. And now it's kind of hard to say, I think he's going to get better. Well, tell me when, because we're 5 games deep, and Auburn's about to go on the road for the first time.
Well, if he will play like he did against Oklahoma, Auburn can win some games without some mistakes.
But that's the problem. See, you keep thinking if he plays his best game, things will get better. It's not happening.
I don't think that was his best game. Obviously,
wait, but hold up. Before the interception, you just said it was the best offensive output. I mean, under Hugh Freeze.
Well, I said except
Arkansas.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
And it was against a good defense.
I guess against a quality opponent.
But see, my point is, eventually these things regress to the mean, and he was going to regress to the mean. He's not going to all of a sudden turn into a Bo Nix at Oregon.
Well, I mean, he went 21-32. It's not like he had a perfect game. He just played within himself.
21-32 against Oklahoma is really good with 3. Now, I will say this: he got 40 of his yards on that last Hail Mary.
I mean, take that away. That's fine. But one of them was Cam Coleman dropped a first down pass. Cam Coleman ran the wrong route one time, or it probably would have been a touchdown. So, I mean, he could have had better numbers. I'm just saying. This may have been the mean. But
it's not the mean when we already have all the other numbers to show that's not the mean. No, that was the outlier. Before the interception was the outlier, right? I mean, it wasn't. He's had certainly.
Well, or you could say, okay, he may be getting a little better. I mean,
okay. I mean, again, that's. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna say this: do you want him to continue to be the starter?
I think he gives Auburn the best chance to win.
and you say that, and I go, okay, I think as an Alabama fan, we're in agreement that we both want him to continue to be the starter.
Okay.
So, and
Look, he can run the ball. He gives maximum effort. He'll give up his body.
He does.
He gives you something else in the running game. Like I said, if we can figure out a way just this season for the rest of these games, because this is the situation we're in, you can complain we didn't go get a quarterback, and you're
that's
right.
done.
But that's nothing we can do about it now.
Nothing.
We should be 5-0. Guess what? We're 2-3. There's nothing that can be done about that right now. Can you maximize the good that Peyton Thorne gives you, and can you minimize the bad? He is Bo Wallace. This is exactly what he was like when he was at Ole Miss.
I would
Bo
say,
Wallace he did you some really good things. He did you dumb things every game.
he did, but
Can you
I would say Bo
maximize
Wallace
the
is more
good?
talented.
No, there's
I think
no
so.
way.
I definitely think so. 100%.
He's as mediocre as Peyton Thorne.
I think Bo Wallace is a better quarterback than Peyton Thorne. Again, I mean, we're picking nits, but yeah, I think most people would pick Bo Wallace over Peyton Thorne.
Well, I think most people have forgotten what Bo Wallace was really like.
Well,
Can you
we've got a pretty clear
maximize-
picture of Peyton Thorne right now.
I know, and that's the point. I maximize the good, minimize the bad. He's try not to put him in bad situations because he's going to panic. But he's the best Auburn's got right now.
Now,
I think that's the truth.
we do have a caller. I say we take this, and then we can get more into this.
Well, we got to take a break. but-
Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, guys, it's Terry. How y'all doing?
What's up, Terry?
Hey, which one of y'all said Tom Brady?
Oh, by the way, I wasn't saying he was Tom Brady. I was saying that that if he was Tom Brady and made those mistakes in the Oklahoma game, that I think people would forgive him because even Tom Brady made a mistake a time or two, but he hadn't been anywhere close to that before that.
No, I was gonna.
You there, Terry? Did we lose you?
Terry said, forget it.
Terry,
He's out.
Terry, you there, buddy? All right.
Call us back, Terry.
Call us back,
We
Terry.
got to take a break, then we'll come back, and maybe we'll try to get Terry back on the line. Don't go anywhere. More Sports Blitz Live is on the way right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Daytonville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at BamaSheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sportz Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, and the discussions during the break are so much better than the show.
Having the debate of the century. Which quarterback would you rather have, Bo Wallace or Peyton Thorne?
Which quarterback would you rather not have? That's the quarter. Let's go back.
I think we got Terry back. Terry, go ahead.
Yeah, guys, I promise you, even though I paid my phone bill, I promise.
Okay, I got you. It's all good. We might have been us.
I know we've been having phone trouble in the area due to that wonderful weather we've had. So,
gotcha.
But I was saying, Luke, you were talking about him being Tom Brady. At this point, I'd settle for Bobby Brady or maybe Sam the Butcher. I mean, come on. Besides the point, guys, have y'all ever seen a player in y'all's lives more misused than Sean Jackson? Because the one player that we could have put in on that goal line situation, instead of putting that ridiculous, stupid, idiotic wildcat formation, you could have put a 240-pound running back there who would have got you a yard, I promise you.
Listen, Terry, I couldn't agree with you more, and that's probably something people aren't talking about enough, and that is a head coaching decision. Jarquez Hunter is a good SEC running back. He's really good.
He's James Bostic.
215.
He will run over you.
Okay, James Bostic's a good comp. If I'm on the goal line, I'm handing it to Jarquez Hunter, who's got, thighs the size of Talladega. So I would let him do that. The other thing that, and again, I can't believe more people aren't talking about this. The little jump pass to Luke Deal, and I think that was on first down. I was like, why are you doing that? It wasn't a great pass. Luke Deal had to go get it.
Well, the guy was right on his back. It had to be that kind of pass.
I understand. My point is, why? You got Jarquez Hunter. Give him the ball and let him run in. Why are you taking that chance? And I know it ended up in a touchdown.
A bunch of offensive linemen who are known as being better run blockers than pass blockers.
And I know, and I understand it ended up as a touchdown, but just because it ended up in your favor doesn't mean it was the right decision. And I think long term, those are the things that get you beat.
Let me tell you why I think Sean Jackson would have done the perfect decision, because Oklahoma wasn't expecting it. They haven't done it in a long time, and they're probably never going to do it. But Oklahoma wasn't certainly expecting it. I think he would have walked in.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn did squander a lot of chances. There's no doubt about it. And I think I'll tell you something else I'll say this about Peyton Thorne. And maybe y'all don't agree with me, but again, this is outside looking in. This kid's handled all this heat pretty doggone well. And I got to say, I give him a ton of credit. It's tough when all the social media and every sports show in the state and in the country is on your back, including this one. And he's taking it all in stride. He's got a lot of pride about him, and he's got a lot of dignity about him. And I think he's a stand-up guy. Doesn't mean I think he's a great quarterback. I just think that when people get that much criticism and they own up to it and they look it right in the eye and they don't back down, I got to give him a lot of credit. He's still going on, I think, the next round and doing a segment with them and talking about it. They had a video of him dissecting the interception. Can you imagine how little fun that is to talk about the mistake that cost your team the game, like in front of the world on camera? That's awful.
Now, can I give you my opinion on it, Luke?
You sure can.
Okay, I think he has a future in sales because he obviously sold himself to Hugh Freeze. He hadn't gotten a bit better. I agree with everything you said, Lou, but he's not a very good quarterback at all. And I think he played, personally speaking, I think he plays scared. I think he's so scared of messing up, Hugh Freeze has got him afraid. And his teammates have picked up on it, and they know it.
You're probably right. And I also, here's the thing, I agree with you, and at the same time, I do kind of agree with Andy. I was messing with him a little earlier. I do think he gives Auburn the best chance to win. The problem is I don't think any of the quarterbacks give Auburn a great chance to win. And
I'll be right, look, he probably does give them the best chance to win, but he also gives them the best chance to lose.
that's also very, very fair. Because here's the one thing, here's another way you could look at this. If you do put Hank Brown in there, and you assume that Hugh Freeze makes it very clear, hey, we're a running team now. Yeah, we'll pass it to Cam Coleman when we can. We'll pass it to KLS when we can. But we're a running team for right now, you know. And that's how we've got to reestablish ourselves to, you know, control the clock a little bit. Because we need to put the clock in our favor, put the pressure on a team like Georgia or Missouri to have to score more often, because we're going to bleed the clock with Jarquez Hunter and Damari Alston and Cobb and all these guys. And if he does that with Hank Brown, I think Hank Brown would be more apt to follow those instructions because he's younger. You know, Peyton Thorne is so much older, I think occasionally he's like, I think you're right, I got to make a play, and he may do something a little silly. But, you know, that's just me. Terry, you there? Boy, he is having a phone problem. Sorry, Terry. Great call. I love Terry when he calls in. And I think that both things can be true. What Terry said is right. He gives you the best chance to win and the best chance to lose, because now the counter to that is, hey, Hank Brown threw 3 picks against Arkansas in the first half. I understand that aspect too. But now the leash has gotten so short. And when you play this quarterback roulette thing, it can screw with everybody's confidence. Terry mentioned that, and that's a great point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Auburn's not in an ideal situation. Okay? We're trying, but again, Hugh Freeze takes a lot of this on his shoulders. And again, I think if he would have put Peyton Thorne in better situations on Saturday in the fourth quarter, Auburn wins the game, and Peyton Thorne gains an enormous amount of confidence. Instead, it happened the way it did. And again, I agree with you, and I'm glad that you said it. I mean, that's why I say I'm glad we're on the road, because it would have been unfortunate that he played such a good game up to that point, and he would have gotten booed. And he's got a chance to redeem himself on the road a little bit. I mean, Auburn, obviously it's a monumental hill to climb to beat Georgia, but Auburn needs to be competitive in that game. They do not need to go and get the doors blown off, because that will really send them into decline. Kentucky is beatable, Missouri is beatable, Vandy is beatable. I mean, those 3 games will determine whether this season just spirals into 3-9, or if they can, you know, give themselves a chance to get to 6-6, or at least, I guess that would be, 6-5 going, or 6-5 going to the Iron Bowl, or going to UNLM, or I guess that would give them a chance to get to, going to the Iron Bowl, maybe 5 and.
Boy, this last 30 seconds of watching you trying to do math in your head.
I'm trying to think where we are and who all we have to beat.
I need to get you a calculator, man.
I do, yeah. I need one of those on my wrist, I guess.
But, you know, look, it goes back to when you're talking about college football. In the end, if you've got a really good quarterback, you can overcome some mistakes. If you got an elite quarterback, you can really make some magic happen. But if you've got a really good quarterback, you can even things out. If your quarterback's just average, you better know it, and you better put him. You have to coach him as if, hey, I gotta do this with kid gloves. I don't want to. I know Hugh Freeze doesn't want to. I know you look around the country and you see some of the throws Milroe and Beck and some of these other dudes at Ohio State, everybody's making. And you're like, I want to do that too. And we got Cam Coleman, so why can't we do that? We got Perry Thompson, why can't we do that? Well, you can't do it because that's not his nature. It is what it is. And again, I'm not saying people can't grow and can't get better. But I am saying that we have seen enough of a sample size of Peyton Thorne now to know what the weaknesses are and what the strengths are. And the problem with one of the weaknesses is he is prone to throwing interceptions at incredibly inopportune times. There's never a great time to throw a pick, but there are certainly some really bad times, AKA throwing a pick to a very slow linebacker for a pick six to win the game. And then, see, he has to bring you back. And that's the other problem is like, it's almost a compound thing because then, I don't even know if Oklahoma had a sack until the last couple of drives. And the reason they were getting sacks in, because now in his mind, he's like, I got to make up for this. And he's waiting on something to happen. And now you don't have any time anymore because Oklahoma's smelling blood in the water. These things start rolling downhill.
I think Auburn threw, by the way, Auburn could get to 7-4 going to the Iron Bowl. That was what I was thinking, that's not possible. But actually, that would be possible.
You're saying lose to Georgia and win all the others.
Yeah, I mean, that was the next 3 games will determine whether they got a chance to do that or not. But anyway.
The Kentucky game looks tougher than it did.
It looks a lot tougher, yeah. But I'm just saying it's possible. But I think Auburn threw 7 passes. I believe it was 7 of 20-plus yards. You know how many we completed? 6. That was his most efficient passing, was plus 20 yards down the field. He's actually throws a good deep ball. It's the underneath stuff. It's the 10 to 20 yards. It's where all the interceptions are coming from.
Let's go ahead. We got a couple of callers.
Okay.
Caller, you go ahead.
Hey, how you guys?
How's it going?
Oh, look out now.
Is it
Hey, listen, man. When we going to start giving, I mentioned this to Brett and them earlier, when we going to start giving him the Brian Harsin treatment? Think about it. The games that we lost, we had better talent or we was just as good as, and we done lost every one of them. He had won no game that he wasn't supposed to, and he done lost the game that he should supposed to have won. Now, when we go through this stretch and we lose 4 more games, when we gonna realize that this may not be the right person for us? I'm not, nobody not saying he gonna get fired. But if it was the Oklahoma coach that lost this game, we already were putting him on the hot seat. They putting Mac Bryan on the hot seat.
Well, he deserves to be on the hot seat.
My point is this here. I told you I'm off the sofa. I'm at the door, finna go out the door. A lot of this is on Hugh Freeze. If you look at his record, well, we done played 18 games. He did whatever it is. He should have 6 more wins. 3 this year and 3 from last year I could count. He done lost them. So now when we go through this stretch here, what are we going to say when he done lost 5, 6 games in a row? We going to still keep hollering. We got to wait till the talent come in, or talent go. But if you look at it, the talent going to leave if the man ain't winning. So I done seen a lot of questionable stuff for me for 2 years, a year and a half, to know that I'm about to go ahead and give this up. And I'm sorry to be that way. It's not all Peyton Thorne. Like you said, and your boy last night, Jim, said it. When they went to a set with that last play, when they went to a all-out blitz and they did a 5-wide receiver set, most quarterbacks is taught to go to a hot read. It's just fortunate Oklahoma made a great play. Why you go to a 5-wide receiver set anyway? Just run the ball, kick it, punt it, and play defense.
Run a draw.
When we gonna start giving him the Brian Harsin treatment? Because he's finna go on a stretch now. They could lose 5 games, 6 games in a row. And Brian Harsin, at least, he was bad, but gee, I don't know, man. But anyway, I'm already at the door, about to make my last step down the door. I give him a little bit longer, but I'm about at the door getting ready to walk out the door, and I guess y'all will be following me soon.
Thank you, James. Appreciate the call, buddy. Man, I love James. I'm so glad he called. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
What's going on?
My thing is, Josh Heupel turned Tennessee around in 4 years. Is Auburn going to give Hugh Freeze 4 years?
I will say this. Josh Heupel turned Tennessee around faster than 4 years. In year 2, he was doing fantastic, and his quarterback went down with an injury, if you remember, and then the wheels came off towards the end of the season. But Tennessee was awesome in his second year.
But I don't think Hugh Freeze is going to be an Auburn coach.
Yeah, you might be right. And look, what James just said holds water. Nobody at Auburn wants to hear it because Brian Harsin is a pariah, and I get it. I understand that. I promise you I do. We've had our own pariahs, okay? Brian Harsin's record through the same amount of games was better than Hugh Freeze's.
That's right.
Why isn't anybody talking about that? Because, and again, the talent thing, and hear me out, Charles. The talent thing is fine. When you want to say we don't have enough talent and we don't expect, but I was on this show. People were telling me, oh, there's a path for 10-2, 9-3, because I do see some talent. And then it's not a talent discrepancy when it's 4th and 31 and you let somebody get behind you. You've already played the talent off their feet. And there's not a talent discrepancy when you give up a 3rd and 19, you give up a 58-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
It's not a talent discrepancy when you call a pass play and you're trying to milk the clock and you give up a pick 6. That's not a talent problem. In fact, I would say Auburn had more talent because if you watched it, Cam Coleman almost walked that dude down. So I'm just saying this talent discrepancy thing is getting a little overblown unless you expected them to go 5-6 and or 5-7. And I was on this show and I've listened to the Auburn Blitz. And I've listened to a lot of other shows where people were telling me, "Hey, I see 9-3, 10-2."
What do you think about Matt Campbell?
No.
No.
You talking about the guy at Iowa State?
Yeah, but why no?
Because he's.
Well,
I think
he does pretty good out there at Ohio State. Iowa State.
I like him. He's a good dude. He's a good coach.
Yeah, I don't think he has any ties to the SEC either.
Auburn may want to avoid former Iowa State coaches.
I'm not looking. I don't want anything another thing from Iowa State. Number one, just for Iowa State, and I'm not looking for another coach quite yet.
Okay, y'all have a good one.
I appreciate the phone call, buddy.
Yeah. When are we going to start giving Brian Harsin treatment? I mean, Hugh Freeze, Brian Harsin. Well,
the answer's never.
Three games from now, I will reevaluate, and we can take a look at where Auburn's headed. Again, they're going to be headed right down the train. And I said 2 weeks ago, I mean, if we go 3-9, then it's 50-50 whether they fire for Hugh Freeze. I really believe that.
No, it's
not. Now, if we can turn it around a little bit, I think the next little string of games here on this road trip is going to determine a lot of things. And if they can maintain the recruiting class, I mean, I don't think anybody's saying this team is devoid of talent. I love the young defensive guys. I mean, Marcus Riddick came on. That dude's going to be a stud. I really like Caleb Harris. I really like Malik Blockton. I really like a lot of these young guys in the secondary. Caleb Wooden. But there is talent on this team. It's just I don't know. They don't know how to win right now, and they got to figure that out. Because
but Randy brought up a great point today, too, and I know we've blown past breaks. We're just going to make that up on the backside, so everybody just deal with it. When we go on a roll, we got to stick with it.
Yeah.
We're old and we forget stuff. Randy brought up a great point. Hey, how many games do you think Cam Coleman lost in high school?
I think every guy that's a big-time guy doesn't lose a lot of games in high school.
Well, DeMarcus Riddick came from Chilton County.
There's one guy on this entire Auburn roster that has any experience whatsoever with Auburn that could be remotely considered a good team. Everybody else, that'd be Luke Deal. He was a true freshman in 2019.
Okay.
Everybody on that team knows Auburn as a 500 mediocre nothing of a program. We don't know how to win. Apparently, Hugh Freeze has forgotten. So we all got to figure it out, including him.
I'm going to ask you this. How many titles did Hugh Freeze have before he came to Auburn?
None.
Okay, so maybe he didn't know.
Maybe he didn't.
And the point about Brian Harsin is this, and I know what James is kind of saying. When will Hugh Freeze get the Brian Harsin treatment? The answer is never. because Brian Harsin, not only did Auburn people run him out on a rail, rightfully so, in my opinion, but he has now embraced the role of being the villain who, like, curls his mustache, and, like, every time Auburn loses, he tweets out something. It's funny as an Alabama fan, but I do have to tell you, when I see it, I'm like, oh, man, if I was an Auburn fan, I'd want to choke this man. He is poking the bear for no reason. If I were an Auburn fan, I'd be like, take your $15 million and go. Just leave us alone. You've done enough.
I don't care.
I know.
He does nothing. I care as much about him as I do about Alabama. It means nothing to me.
I understand.
I don't understand why.
People.
I don't know why it matters to any Auburn fan.
Because we're
why
passionate.
are you looking at his tweets?
Because people are passionate and people
No,
can't
because
help it.
people are dumb.
No, because you can't look away from the car wreck sometimes.
Sure you can.
You can, so other people can't. I get it. But now, Hugh Freeze is not Brian Harsin. Obviously, I think he cares about his job. I don't think Brian Harsin did.
As long as if he brings in a top 5 recruiting class and we still go 3-9, maybe we ought to be coach of the year, because that would be a monumental achievement.
I don't understand your line of thinking.
I mean, if we can hold on to that class and be in a crappy team like that, well, again, like one of the biggest, and I said this when we hired Hugh Freeze. I said, I think he's a much better recruiter than Gus Malzahn, and I think he's a little bit better coach. Turns out he may not be a better coach, but he's a much better recruiter.
I agree with that.
I said, if it doesn't work out with Hugh Freeze in 3 or 4 years, at least the next guy will have a loaded roster. And that seems to be where we're headed.
Well, you think that, but you never know with transfer portal now.
Yeah, but everybody's not going to leave. I mean, yeah, some of them will leave.
I mean, again, the whole talent thing is I think that's just people making excuses, because Auburn's got more talent in Arkansas. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
Of course we do.
Auburn's got more talent in California. You're not going to convince me otherwise. Got more talent in New Mexico State.
I mean, those games are easily explained.
The New Mexico State one is?
No. I mean, the
how's
Arkansas,
the Cal one explained?
5 turnovers.
Okay, look.
5 turnovers for Arkansas.
Jake Crane had a great video about that today. He said, everybody talks about that. He said, but the turnovers really didn't happen till late. Now, we all count them the same, just like you count 338 yards passing, you give him his last 40 yards on a Hail Mary, right? Yeah. The turnovers happened late. Auburn had a gazillion opportunities in between there, just didn't capitalize. It wasn't all the turnovers. People see the 5 turnovers and go, oh, that's clearly what did it. Just like the other night, I think Daniel Jones for the New York Giants, because I'd put like a $20 friendly wager that he would throw an interception that night against the Cowboys, right? And he threw it on like the last play of the game. It still goes down as a pick, but it didn't affect the outcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't think all of those turnovers were late. I think we threw at least one.
I think all of them came. I think one of them was in the first half, maybe, and the rest of them came in the fourth.
I think the rest of them came. But they were in consecutive drives when we were driving to either win the game, or lose the game.
Understood. But I think Jake's point was, hey, there was a lot of space in between there for Auburn to make some hay, and they did.
He's absolutely right. Nobody's saying that that's the only reason. But anytime you ask Georgia. You think if they think that we don't turn the ball over 4 times, we'd have a better chance of beating Alabama?
True, but again, one of their turnovers came when they were making a comeback. They had already taken the lead back, by the way. So again, that's why that game was so awesome. That despite their miscues, they were able to come back, and that's why I give Georgia just tons and tons and tons of credit. That they kept fighting, and anyway, but it's amazing that the Alabama-Georgia game happens. It's one of the best. It's probably going to be the game of the year. I don't see how you top it. And yet we spent the whole show talking about this because this is so intriguing.
Not the whole show. All right, we got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
With summer here, the kids out of school, and fun at the lake, illness or injury can strike at any time. Whether you're on vacation or just don't have time to go see your primary doctor, visit your friends and professionals at Ivy Creek Urgent Care, located at Highway 49 South, next to Stillwater's main entrance, with a rotation of 4 professional doctors and 3 nurse practitioners. They honor all walk-ins, get you in, properly treated, and out swift so you can be back to the summer fun fast. When you need urgent, see Ivy Creek Urgent Care, Dadeville. No appointment needed.
The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rates. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekend. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. All at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
The good guys at Alex City Marine are ready for your boating needs all summer. And now you can get up to $4,500 in rebates on our huge selection of new Landau Tri-Tunes and sacrifice pricing on remaining 23 models. Alex City Marine also has a new fleet of rental boats for fabulous days on the water, whether it's service, new pontoon selections, or rental boats. See the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road in Alexander City or online at alexcitymarine.com.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care, open 7 days a week. Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state, and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. We are in the second half of the show tonight. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Talked a lot about Auburn and Oklahoma. Talked a lot about the Georgia and Alabama game as well. There were some other games in the SEC, if you missed it.
Can we talk about Miami Vitek before we go?
We can, and go ahead. I'll tell you what I think about it. I don't think it was that difficult to call. I don't think the guy caught it.
Okay.
Clearly.
Fair. I'm going to say this, though. You thought he did. You thought it was clear. I didn't think it was clear one way or the other. I didn't think it was.
Well, he clearly did not possess the ball. I mean, I don't know if you want to say one. I mean, second. I mean, I don't know how long. I don't think he possessed it for long enough for it to be a catch. There's no question that he didn't possess the ball. Now, you could say he had it and then it fumbled out of his hands or it was pulled out of his hands because it clearly was. So it wasn't like he caught it and nothing ever happened.
No, I thought he caught it and then it was pulled out of his hands. But I could have understood if he had called it incomplete on the – but I don't see how you overturn it. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this for the gazillionth time. Get rid of replay. Get rid of replay. Get rid of replay.
I completely disagree with on that point. I thought that was an easy call to me. I looked at it. I said, he did not catch the ball. I mean, it was just he did not possess it in the end zone. He had one hand on it, and it was fumbling around a little. It was moving a little bit.
Would you at
and then
least
it popped out.
acknowledge that the announcers were like, I don't know how you overturn this.
Now Oklahoma's receiver, knee clearly going down on the field, and them going and looking at it and not upholding it or overturning it.
I don't know
That's
which
when
one
I
you're talking about.
There was a.
See, I didn't get to see the whole game.
Okay. There was they threw on a I think it was a third down and like 16, third down and 17 or something. And they threw a pass out to the right flat, and the guy caught it, spun around, knee went down, he got back up and went forward, got the first down. They stopped it, reviewed it, and his knee clearly went down and touched the ground. Now, I mean, it wasn't there for half a second, but it was on the ground. They looked at it and said, play stands. So on that, I say, yeah, get rid of replay. It doesn't work.
I just don't think it works. And I think we see mistakes all the time by everybody, and I don't know why we can't just have mistakes on this too. And everybody goes, well, because you want to get the call right. Well, we don't get every holding call right. We don't get every pass interference call right. We don't get every roughing the passer call right. So why do we have to get all these calls right when we can't do it? Because you've used the term clearly twice now in both of your defenses, right? And I'm telling you, it obviously wasn't clear. Because if it was clear, then I think it would have been overturned.
I said it was clear to me.
Well, it's clear to you. And that, again, that's fine. But that's also part of the reason that I don't like replay. What's clear to you may not be clear to me.
They just need to put me in charge of replay.
Ah, gotcha.
That would solve all this problem.
And I just feel like if you can't get it right after all these camera angles and everything, just let it go. Because it doesn't help when you say things like, the play stands. Well, what you're saying is we can't confirm either way. We don't know, so we're taking a guess. Just let it be. And if we can't deal with that as fans, that's on us. We got to do better, and just say, hey, yeah, we don't need to throw beer cans or rocks at officials because they miss a call. They're going to miss calls. I've been trying to stand up for officials for a long time. I know they've gotten worse. It seems like they've gotten worse. I certainly was dog cussing a few of them Saturday night, I promise you. But in the end, I think it usually comes out in the wash. But I do feel like on the Virginia Tech one, yeah, it was a tough call. And if the guy, I
felt bad for Virginia Tech.
In live, when it happened live, I thought there's no way. It looked like he was out of bounds. Then when I saw the first replay, I was like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he did catch that. And I was like, the official was on the other side of the play, had a better angle, so maybe he knows more than I do. I was like, I don't know how they overturned this.
And Miami should have never been in that position.
Ever.
They just proved again that they're just not, they can't enjoy success.
You know who Miami has this week?
California.
At Cal, and game day is going to be there. And the game's at 9:30 at night.
Wow.
Game day will start at 7 o'clock in the morning their time. No, 6 o'clock in the morning their time.
Wow. Why? Oh, well.
That's what time game day
prime time. Yeah. Okay. That's insane. Well, good for Cal.
I mean, it's the first time they've ever been to Berkeley.
Why would you ever go?
Well, I think it's maybe the only second time they've ever done a California game. They did a game with California like they were ranked 23 and went to number 5 Utah in 2017. Utah looked pretty bad too, by the way.
Yeah, I got beat by Arizona. That was not good. But how about them Kentucky Wildcats going into Oxford and shutting down this, up to this point, kind of prolific Ole Miss offense? Jackson Dart, 261 yards, 1 touchdown, but 1 for 10 on third down.
Yeah, and, I knew they were in trouble. My brother pointed this out, that if you go back and watch the game in between the third and fourth quarters, Ole Miss is losing, or they may have been up 17-13 at the time, but I think they were losing. And their whole sideline is jumping around, and one of the players has like a kid on his shoulders with a fire extinguisher.
That's probably Kiffin's kid.
Well, it may have been. I don't know. I couldn't tell.
He usually does that.
Well, I know, but I thought he was older than that. Maybe he's not, because he looked pretty young.
I think this kid's like 10.
He looked younger than 10.
Really?
But maybe it was him. I don't know. Regardless, if it's his kid or anybody's kid, if you're in a dogfight with Kentucky, between the third and the fourth quarter, and you were a 15, 16-point favorite, and you're vying to get into the college football playoff, and the only thing you can't do, you can lose to Ole Miss. To Georgia later on in the year. You can probably lose to LSU when you got them coming up in a couple of weeks. You can't lose to Kentucky. And
well, hey, give credit to your boy Griff Vanderbroek. For dropping back on 4th and 10 and launching one down the field.
I do. And now I give a little bit more credit to Berrien Brown, who is just a badass. I mean, I wanted Alabama to sign him so bad. He's so good. And, but Griff Vanderbroek did make a great pass. We know it's Brock Vandergriff, by the way. This is just our nickname for him. And, and I also give credit to Mark Stoops. I think he learned from his mistakes. I think, against Georgia, he was too conservative. He was like, I got to punt it and put my defense back out there with very little time left on the clock. And I know he had all his timeouts or whatever, but this time he's like, hey, I'm the underdog. Sometimes you got to play like the underdog.
Look, as few phrase, it's sometimes you got to fold them, sometimes you got to hold them. I mean, sometimes, there's times to be aggressive, there's times to be conservative. You, as a coach, got to know the difference.
And I think the difference is, do you have the lead? Were you ever supposed to have the lead? Are you in this thing? And I think that had Mark Stoops punted in that situation, I think it might as well have been like he would have lost his team. I think going for it made it where his team was like, okay.
But not just throwing. It's 4th and 10. You're not going for the first down. You're going for the home run.
Well, and he didn't just throw a 10-yard pass either. It was like a 30-yard pass. And boy, if you're Lane Kiffin, it's so funny. I just got an email. There's a company in Mississippi. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. And I've never bought from them, but they're Delta Jeans Company, and their jeans are awesome. Their jeans are also about $450 a pair. So, yeah, I hadn't bought any of those. And it's funny, I just got an email from them.
Do they come with money in the pocket?
They should. Oh. But I got an email from them because they said, we got this new collegiate collection in one of the models, Lane Kiffin. And I was like, this would have been a lot better email Friday afternoon versus Monday, Tuesday afternoon. So
here's a shocker. Texas A&M beat Arkansas.
Well, we knew that. Arkansas did cover.
21-17.
I might have picked Arkansas to win. And frankly, again, you want to talk about woulda, coulda, shoulda. They probably should have won. They kept driving into the red zone, kept fumbling the ball.
Now, this was the last time they're going to be in Dallas?
Yeah, they're going to go home and home, which I kind of dig. But if I were them, if I were Arkansas, I'd be like, yeah, put me in Dallas just in front of all these recruits. But regardless, it goes back to what I've said. See, losing that game's in Arkansas's DNA. It's what they do. They just do it. Yeah. I don't know why. I don't know why they have to always find a way to screw it up. I also don't know why in the world. I bet you ABC is a little bit ticked because ABC this week's going to have Missouri, Texas A&M at 11, which I think that's too early for that game. They're going to have then Ole Miss. I think the Ole Miss.
A game in which A&M is favored, by the way.
Yeah. Then Ole Miss and South Carolina is on ESPN. I'll tell you something. I think that may be the best game of all of them because now Ole Miss is in desperation mode, and if you're South Carolina, you're like, okay, we got a shot at this.
And have had a week off to think about it and work.
Yeah, and South Carolina's like, look, our next two games are at home against Ole Miss and then at Bama. If we go 1-1, we're kicking butt.
Is Sellers back?
I don't know.
But if he's not, forget it.
Well, their defense, though, is what –
Forget it.
I know.
Forget it.
Their defense did stop Griff Vanderbroek pretty good. But so ABC has chosen Tennessee and Arkansas for the primetime game. And I was like, I don't know. I just feel like they didn't put the right game in that slot.
Maybe not. Texas, no problem with Mississippi State, although.
They didn't cover. I don't think they covered. If Mississippi State had been, what was the final?
35-13.
Yeah, the spread was 38.5. Mm-hmm. So they didn't cover if they had shut Mississippi State out.
Mississippi State, again, rushed for 150 yards. It's not that they couldn't. They just weren't trying to.
Yeah.
When they had Shapen, now they got the Van Buren boys. And you know what? You don't mess with those guys.
No, you don't. You got another sign.
All right.
By the way, another Seinfeld reference. So I'm not saying I did or didn't, but I may have partaken in some adult beverages at the Alabama game. And at halftime, when Alabama was looking great, and I don't drink that much that often anymore, and I was just in a great mood. So everybody I saw, I would see a lot of people, and I'd know them, but I wouldn't remember their names. And I was doing like the Houston Astros when George Costanza was meeting them. I was calling everybody, you tell that son of a blank that this bastard said he loves him. I was doing a lot of the Houston Astros stuff.
That's how they talk in the big leagues.
Yeah.
All right, we got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Foshie's Watts on Dable Road in Alexander City is always making improvements, making it bigger, like making their pellet ice a 10-pound bag for $2. How about their biscuits? Have you tried their biscuits with regular cheese or hoop cheese with sausage and ham and salmon, and throw an egg on there, and you got a happy person. And don't forget about they have propane and wood. That's Foshie's Watts, Dable Road, Alex City.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
If you're seeing the American cockroach, throw up the red flag. Ladybugs, throw up the red flag. Ants and swarming termites, throw up the red flag. And kudzu bugs, throw up the red flag. That's Red Flag Pest Control. So the caution is on. Call Red Flag Pest Control today.
I'm Scott Davis with Red Flag Pest Control. Call me today, 256-825-0430.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
Heavy-duty trucks and heavy-duty savings are at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Big work means big towing and hauling ability. Today, you can drive away brand-new Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra 2500 HD trucks with discounts up to $6,000 off. Take your choice, Chevy or GMC heavy-duty 2500 series trucks up to $6,000 off right now during truck season. So let's get to work. Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, your heavy-duty truck headquarters. Get ready to smile.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. Just a couple of more segments left in tonight's show. It is
Can you believe it?
flown by. LSU beats South Alabama 42-10. Nothing really to see here, I don't think. Some interesting games across the country. We talked about the Virginia Tech-Miami game. That ended up pretty spectacular fashion. Why in the world you're in that position if you're Miami? Virginia Tech is not a good football team. But Ohio State, no problem with Michigan State. Oregon hammers UCLA. Illinois and Penn State, Penn State wins 21-7. Illinois, Burks made them competitive.
Illinois scored first in that game.
Yeah.
It was 7-7 at the half. I think that is a case of somebody just not having the horses yet. But you can see that, hey, look, I don't know that Bird's never going to get a bunch of 5-stars or anything like that, but he's going to get dudes that run that system, and nobody does that anymore. It's funny, I talked to my son today, again, 9th grader. He's in Ohio, and he said, Dad, his first year ever playing football, ever. No little league, no nothing. And so, he's had to learn a lot. But he said, Dad, it's been tough today. We're playing a team. Our coach said they may only throw the ball like 3 times all game. I was like, yeah, that's what people used to do. And I said, now that's the outlier. It used to be, remember, you play a spread offense, you go, what do we do? Now it's if you play one of those bunch it up 3 yards in a cloud of dust things, nobody knows what to do. So I think when you play Illinois, that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah. That reminds me, I won't name the high school, but it was a smaller school. And I knew a kid that played for it, and he showed me the game plan for the week. And it literally said, I'm not kidding, it said they run 100% of the time on first down. On first down, they run 100% of the time. Beware of the pass. Look out for the pass. Yeah. Just be safe.
Keep an eye out for it.
But that's you got to cover your bases.
Yeah.
All right, Minnesota. Hey, they give Michigan all they want. They end up winning that one. Michigan does 27-24.
Something that, look, if you're going to have replay, do you know about this? So Minnesota kicks an onside kick late in the game too.
Oh yeah, I heard they were going to change their policy about onside.
And they have.
What does that mean?
The referee's going to move his position.
What happened?
All right, so they said one of the Minnesota players was offsides.
Okay.
Right? And the announcer said, again, I hadn't even seen it.
I'm assuming Minnesota recovered.
They did.
Okay.
And one of the announcers said, okay, looking from the booth angle, or no, looking from his angle, he thought he was offsides. But then they did one of those overhead, like all 22 shots, and he goes, he wasn't offsides. And,
is that something you can review?
No.
Oh.
And so they had to re-kick it, and Michigan gets it, and the rest is history. But, yeah, it's one of those things where, again, if we're going to have replay, that's something you can fix.
Yeah,
but they don't. And so
stepping out of bounds, things like that, that's when replay can really.
But even stepping out of bounds, we've seen this before where it's like somebody lands. And I remember, who was it Auburn was trying to make a comeback against a couple of years ago, and I think it was Seth Williams. Like, he landed, it looked like he may have landed. They called him out, I think, initially. But you could, if you had called him in, I would go like, yeah, I can see that. Because you couldn't see any space between the two. But, heck, you don't, the film was it was grainy. Because the camera's here, and the play happens over there, as close as it is, it's hard to know. And also, what if the one little speck of paint just comes out a little different than the rest of it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just weird.
USC beat Wisconsin 38-21, although USC was down in that game.
They were down 21-10, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Notre Dame takes care of Louisville in a
that was a fight.
15 versus 16. Clemson continues to roll on, although Stanford's not that good. There we go. Iowa State beats Houston, who is no good at all.
Well, they shut them out.
20-0.
Well, Houston almost beat Oklahoma, if you remember.
I do.
Lots of teams almost beat Oklahoma.
Kansas State hammers Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's really not that good.
Boy, I'll tell you, is there any coach that's gotten more mileage out of a hairdo than Mike Gundy?
Yeah, I know a lot of Auburn fans want him. So, yeah, there you go. How about BYU taking care of Baylor 34-28?
Baylor, who opens up with Auburn next year.
Yes, they do.
You going?
In Texas?
In Waco.
That'd be no. They ran me out of there, mid-90s. I hadn't been back. Boise State beat Washington State 45-24. How about them? The
Boise
Blue Turf,
State,
man.
whatever they are. Broncos. Yeah, they've got their running back he's something, man. I'll tell you, it's funny. Like, I think Milroe's sort of leading the Heisman after Georgia, but some of that's probably just, recency bias. Travis Hunter's up there, but I think once Colorado comes back to earth, I can't believe Gus Malzahn got hammered by Colorado.
I can.
You can? Really?
Of course.
I don't know. I thought Gus Malzahn
He'll
was
turn around and beat Florida. That's who he is.
Yeah, but Florida's worse than Colorado, I think.
No, I don't know.
God, do they play this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Colorado hammers Central Florida 48. I mean, hammers them at home. And then Florida State gets hammered by
Did you see
SMU.
Cam Newton was at the game and Travis Hunter just rebuffed him? Like Newton was trying to talk to him and Travis was like, get out of here. And Cam Newton was like, hey, he's like, no, I don't want to talk to you.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, but I mean, Shedeur Sanders did that like to the Colorado State quarterback after, the Colorado State quarterback comes up to him after the game, was like, good game. And Shedeur Sanders is like, you're not on my level. Get out of here. I mean, Colorado makes it very easy for people to hate them.
Yeah.
I'm very rarely sympathetic towards Cam Newton.
I've heard. Yeah. Most Alabama fans aren't. All right, well, let's go ahead and take another break. We'll come back and we'll make some predictions for the rest of the week. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SEC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full-service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Kind of closing things out on the show tonight. We always like to do some predictions, talk about some games coming up this Saturday. It's a kind of a sneaky good one. Syracuse at number 25 UNLV, who made a statement after their quarterback quit on them, They hammered Fresno State over the weekend. So you got 4-0 UNLV, the running Rebs, against the Big Orange here, 3-1. The Rebels a 6.5-point favorite. This one on Friday night, 8 o'clock.
Kind of
on
a fun
FS1.
watch.
Yeah, I think so.
And I think the nation's sort of pulling for UNLV right now.
But Syracuse, they're better than they were last year.
Yeah, Kyle McCord. Boy, who'd they lose to? Did they lose to Georgia Tech?
No, they beat Georgia Tech. They lost somebody on the road. I can't remember who it was, though. It was not a bad team.
No, I think they lost.
Maybe it was
home.
Louisville. Was it?
I thought they lost at home.
What did they? Okay.
But regardless, that was that's going to be a pretty fun game for a Friday night. We're AHSAA guys, but but I don't mind putting on a game.
I will not be able to see that one because I'm filling in for somebody, but perhaps.
He's handsome.
Well, the still things. The voting's still out on that one. Okay, SMU 4-1 is on the road at number 22 Louisville.
Well,
3-1.
I'm going to look up this Syracuse schedule, but SMU did just hammer Florida State.
Yes,
which,
they
again,
did.
not much to brag about it, but of course Florida State did beat California. So I think that
they got beat by Stanford.
They did get beat by Stanford at home. At home.
That makes no sense.
That's what it was. Yeah. That's going to be that's not a terrible game either.
No, it's not. Hey, Rhett Lashley at SMU, he's doing some good things there.
And they should even be better. I mean, they had a loss they shouldn't have had.
They absolutely should.
But SMU is going to get better and better and better. They have enough money over there to make some waves in the ACC. Assuming the ACC stays together, right now it's being held together with chewing gum and Band-Aids. But
well, for a generation, SMU was a joke. So we're old enough to remember when SMU was good, really good. So, I mean, it would be nice to see them, the Mustangs.
Look, they've paid enough.
I
think no matter how.
To get good again.
When you watch the Pony Excess and all that stuff and you're like, okay, what they were doing was bad and clear and brazen. And, I mean, they did it literally in everybody's face. I mean, it's one thing, everybody, had something going on. But they did
especially out in the Southwest Conference.
They did. SMU, for the Southwest Conference, which was the most rogue of the conferences, they were the most rogue of the Southwest Conference by a long shot.
That's true.
So I think everybody.
They made the SEC look like choir boys.
I think they deserved. I don't think they deserved the death penalty. I don't know that anybody does, but they deserved certainly some backlash. They didn't deserve 40 years of hell.
No, not when that guy was interviewing the newscaster and he started dropping names. And them old boys started started pulling out papers, looking like, oh God, what? And they were on national TV. Oh man, that was bad. Yeah. That was uncomfortable. That was like a scene out of The Office. Rutgers, how about Rutgers 4-0 is on the road at Nebraska 4-1. This one, a 7-point favorite to Cornhuskers.
Yeah, I like the Cornhuskers.
Watch out now for Rutgers to sneak in here.
They did beat Washington last Friday night.
Yes,
that was also a good game. But I like what Greg Schiano's doing. Greg Schiano can coach as long as he's at Rutgers.
It appears so, yeah.
And I think that it just, for some reason, it just reverberates there, and he's doing a great job. I like Nebraska, but I don't know, maybe, Nebraska was in sort of a dogfight with Purdue, I think, this past weekend. Now, they ended up beating them pretty good, but at halftime it was very, very close, maybe even tied at 7. Yeah. And Purdue is bad.
They're not good. Michigan is a 2.5-point dog on the road at Washington.
Ooh, boy. Well, I think the reason that is Michigan is not yet discovered
the number 10
forward
team
pass
in the country
in American football.
They're not the number 10 team in the country.
Once again, they threw for less than 100 yards. That's 2 games in a row.
Well, I mean, if they're 4-1,
less than 80.
So it's working for them at least.
I kind of like Washington now that just
talking yourself into it.
Yeah.
Okay. Central Florida is 3-1. They got hammered by Colorado. They are a 3-point favorite in Gainesville
because they're
against
beat
the
them.
Gators. No, they're not.
You don't think so?
Yeah, they probably will.
I think Gus Malzahn will
just to
He's
screw
going to go in there and Malzahn right all over him.
Yeah. That's at 6:45 on the SEC network. You think so? You like?
I think
the
it's
Black Knights here.
I like the Black Knights, the bounce house, but it's not the bounce house. They're going to just. I don't think the Swamp's going to bring a lot of people.
Oof.
And I think that Central Florida will, because it's sort of
What
like.
did they do during the break? I mean, this off week. I mean, did y'all just sit around going, I can't believe we're in
And
this
they're all like, oh my God, why am I here?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. But it doesn't matter what they did. I think Gus Malzahn and them get it done.
Number 4 Tennessee, undefeated on the road at Arkansas, 13.5-point favorites over the Hogs.
That seems low, doesn't it?
I think Arkansas can score, maybe.
Okay. Tennessee,
2 points here.
I don't think Tennessee will give up some of the plays that Auburn did, like allow that running back, Taylor Green, to get out, and run around some. And I think Tennessee's pass rush is certainly better. And so if he drops back, I think he's going to get got. It feels low, and that's why I'm saying it feels low. Why is that weird? Sort of take Arkansas.
Okay.
The logic is telling me Tennessee blows them out. Right.
But the wise guys say
So when you see a line that says something, you're like, why is that so low? And then you're like, ooh, I'm going to hammer that mother.
Yeah.
That's when you
That's
get
when you
hammered.
got your money.
Yeah.
Number 9, Missouri, again, on the road at A&M. Missouri is a 2-point dog in this one.
I like Missouri. I do.
That seems unlikely, but I don't know.
And again, it's a sneaky line, but they just going to have to get Daddy's money on this one because I like Missouri. I think they're pretty good. I think they took Vandy a little too lightly. Boston College is probably better than you think.
Yeah, they struggled with Western Kentucky Saturday.
Well, you know why? They did have a backup quarterback in.
Okay.
And
you need your starter to be Western Kentucky. Huh?
Well, no, Boston College does. Well, they don't. They came back and won.
They did come back and win.
So
they came back and won.
I know. But Boston College is a little – they're better than you think. I'm not saying they're good. It's the same argument as Bo Wallace is better than Peyton Thorne. It ain't by a lot, and it don't mean much, but it is true.
I still disagree, but okay. I think those guys are the same guys. They're actually literally brothers from different mothers. How about number 12? Ole Miss is a 9-point favorite over South Carolina at home.
That's too much. That's too much. I'm telling you, South Carolina's defense, I think they're going to get to Jackson Dart some.
Oh yeah, they got a nasty defense.
Their defense is nasty. And
if Sellers is back, I might be willing to even ride with South Carolina here.
And I'll tell you something. You know what's funny? I mean, you were just talking about the power of football. Ole Miss's enrollment has skyrocketed mostly because of football. You look at what's happened to Alabama because of the success of the football team. It's just a whole nother planet from when I was there, and everything's nicer and better. And it's just, but I'm going to tell you something. If Ole Miss loses this one, and then he has 2 losses on an easy schedule to Kentucky and South Carolina, and he's still got at LSU and Georgia at home to go, that'll ruffle some frat boy feathers.
Yeah, we'll see. No, number 1 Alabama now, a 22-point favorite on the road at Vandy. Do they come down off the high and let Vandy sneak around and hold around?
I think it wouldn't shock me if Vandy covered this because, I mean, there's no way you can stay that high after this game. But here's the thing about playing in Nashville, and we all know this, especially for, the Alabama's going to have just as many fans there as Vanderbilt does. I was going, but I got to coach my daughter's game. It just goes to show you, don't have children. I'm kidding. I love my daughter. But I've got to coach my daughter's soccer game, and so I'm not able to go to the game. But that's one that I was really counting on going to.
Auburn is a 24-point underdog on the road at number 5 Georgia. Is Georgia hungover or are they mad?
Look, I think Georgia puts it on Auburn something awful. I really do. I'm not saying that as a fan. I'm telling what happened to Florida State. Now, Florida State was missing a lot of people. But Georgia put it on them as hard as they could because I think Georgia likes to make statements. I think Kirby Smart would like to make a statement. I think Kirby Smart really digs his record against Auburn, and he wants to keep it that way. He's now going a little more head-to-head with Hugh Freeze on some guys. like that Azumane Kroma, whatever the running back is.
Osamani.
I've never heard anybody say it, so I didn't know. But
now you do.
Now I do. But I'm telling you, I think that Kirby Smart's going to want to make a statement. I think, look, you can talk about Georgia maybe being a little depressed. I think Auburn's going to be just as depressed, right? I mean,
that's what I want to see. I mean,
Auburn dominated the game the whole time and blew it. Georgia fought tooth and nail to even make it a game again. And yes, they did. I mean, I hate to say they blow it. I think both Georgia did what they had to come back, and I think Alabama did what they had to do to come back. That was just two Titans. But I think Auburn gave away that Oklahoma game.
There's no question.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I can say it's important for Auburn to be competitive in this game.
I agree.
That's all I'll say.
I don't think
it's very important.
It's a bad look if Georgia covers this, but I'm going to tell you something. I believe Georgia covers.
We'll see.
You don't.
I'm not going to say.
Predicting
I'm not going to say one way or the other.
Oh, you just don't want to jinx something.
I know. I don't know. I don't have the clue. I think Georgia wins, but I just hope Auburn is competitive. All right, we got to end the show. Let's run the credits. He is Luke. I'm Andy. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you're tired of the same old, and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SUSCC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172. If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
At Russell Medical, we're proud of our exceptional nurses, like Nurse Brandy Worthy. Brandy represents the selfless, compassionate clinical leader patients expect and coworkers admire. Brandy was recently honored with the Nightingale Award for Nursing Excellence for her high standards, sound judgment, and caring manner. Her passion for her profession inspires us all.
Being a nurse is not just what you do, it's who you are. I'm proud to be a part of the nursing team at Russell Medical. We are the link between all hospital services, providing you with exceptional, personalized care.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need. With top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill. And our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care opens 7 days a week.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
With summer here, the kids out of school, and fun at the lake, illness or injury can strike at any time. Whether you're on vacation or just don't have time to go see your primary doctor, visit your friends and professionals at Ivy Creek Urgent Care, located at Highway 49 South, next to Stillwater's main entrance. With a rotation of 4 professional doctors and 3 nurse practitioners, they honor all walk-ins, get you in, properly treated, and out swift so you can be back to the summer fun fast. When you need urgent, see Ivy Creek Urgent Care, Daveville. No appointment needed.
Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Landowners, farmers, and landscapers, it's time to fall back this fall at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor on Highway 280 in Alex City. Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor has the year's best terms on almost all our Mahindra tractors. Now, get up to 84 months of 0% financing on Mahindra 1600 to 4500 series tractors. And package up with all your implement needs. Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor also has 0% financing or up to $1,000 rebates on most 24 Spartan zero-turn mowers. The rates can't fall anymore at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor.
Summertime is a special time. Time on the water, time away from work, and more time with family and friends. Make sure your heart is ready for the season with an appointment at the UAB Heart and Vascular Clinic at Russell Medical. I'm Dr. Kevin Sublett, and our entire clinic is dedicated to keeping your heart healthy. We're right here in your own community and backed by the knowledge and expertise of UAB Medicine. Make an appointment today by calling 256-234-2644 or visit uabmedicine.org/heartrussell.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And AHSAA Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.